we want to hear our Senator, who I'm so pleased to welcome here, along with the High Commissioner, because I think actually Lord Rana has said something that's really poignant. It's about talking, it's about understanding, and then working together. But I know, and I'm really proud of everyone else who's around this table here, because we did come together as a community to raise concerns, and I'm so glad that Malaysia responded in a positive way by saying that it is about dialogue, it is about working together, it is about everybody who belongs to Malaysia being a part of Malaysia. And I really think that actually it's good credit to the government, but also to you, Mr. Waytha, because in you, of course, we see a friend. And for all of us who saw you at the beginning of your journey, wondered whether this day would come, and I can say probably each and every one of us is extremely proud of your achievements and your very, very long and difficult journey that you and your family have had to make. But ultimately, the rewards are there. Gandhi's philosophy is perseverance, perseverance, and more perseverance. And I think you've proven that to all of us. But I must again commend the Malaysian people, because the Malaysian people stood side by side to ensure that this could happen. And I'm really pleased that we've got representation from the High Commission here in support of you today. I'm not going to say very much more because I'm here as your personal friend more than anything else. Like Ashok, you know, we've been really proud to hear of all the things that you're achieving. And we're planning now on when he's going to bring me to Malaysia. But I think we really all want to give you a rousing a welcome to Room G in the House of Lords. Over to you.
Thank you, Lord Rana, and thank you all for coming. I'm indeed humbled to be here, to be invited to speak here. In December 2008, I was here on a different mission with the assistance of Baroness Burma. I raised the various violations of human rights faced by the Malaysian Indian community here in the House of Lords. The briefing was held, and among a few other speakers, I presented my case. And Baroness Burma and her colleagues had made representations on behalf of the Malaysian Indians to the Malaysian government. And subsequently, representations were also made on behalf of various NGOs, human rights organizations, and Hindu organizations in the United Kingdom, particularly the HSS, Friends of India. There were some temples and mandirs, the Highgate Temple, and a number of other MPs were made representations to the Malaysian government. Way then, I found it, or rather I saw it as an impossible task to find a solution and a conclusion to the problems faced by the Malaysian Indian community. And I said to my dear friend Padma, who has been a very good sister to me, and I said that I don't see light at the end of the tunnel in my lifetime. However, things changed for the betterment of the community. I think all our prayers were heard, and early this year, we entered into a series of talks with the government of Malaysia. And during those negotiations and discussions, we made the Malaysian government understand the plight and predicament of the Malaysian Indian community. Basically, as you all are aware, we were brought in as indentured labor into Malaysia about 200 years ago. after 150 years, almost 150 years, we were left behind in Malaya then in 1957. The Indian community were mainly in the plantation areas, manning rubber, which was the main export of the country then in 1950s. And we had contributed at that point of time to almost 70% of the country's export duties, to the country's incomes. However, over the years, the plantations were acquired for various development programs, and the Indian community became a displaced community. Our predicament were misunderstood, and no proper representations were made to the government. And hence, in 2006, early 2006, Indra was formed, and we had made various representations. It went unheard initially, which eventually led to a massive rally in 2007. We all know what happened in 2007 and the subsequent years. However, during the discussions with government authorities, and in particular with the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister had openly, after hearing us, he had openly agreed that mistakes had taken place. The Indian community were neglected. And he had made a personal commitment to correcting historical wrongs. And after almost more than 10 rounds of negotiations, we entered into a binding memorandum of understanding, which laid down clearly the programs, the correction programs, and the economic upliftment programs for the Indian community in Malaysia. We had 6 items initially proposed. We had to give in to 2. And though various criticisms were hurled against us for giving up the 2 initiatives, in particular, we had to drop the implementation of the Independent Police and Misconduct Committee. And the second one was Malaysia signing up to international human rights laws under the UN conventions. Though various criticisms were hurled, but I suppose in any negotiations, there has to be give and take. We have to give in to those 2 requests, to postpone those 2 requests, and to proceed with the other agenda, the agenda of uplifting the Malaysian Indian community. The first and foremost that was agreed by the government was to resolve the long-standing displaced Malaysian plantation community. An estimated of about 800,000 Indians have been made displaced since 1970s. And the government had agreed to undertake economic programs and also to resettle future displaced community into proper housing with land allocated and also budget allocated to ensure that they have a living, they have an income, and to those who had been displaced previously, a special arrangement would be made to uplift their economic status, i.e. doubling their income. The second issue was the issue of statelessness. Many of the Indians who had lived in Malaysia for 4 to 5 generations, and especially after independence, most of them who lived in the plantation areas were not registered as Malaysian citizens. So their nationality remains disputed. And the government has agreed with us that we would find a common solution that makes sense, not upon strict laws, but upon common sense principles that would be made easy for these people to prove that they were born in Malaysia. The constitution basically says those who were born in Malaysia after independence in 1957 were citizens of Malaysia. However, due to certain technical issues, they are not registered. So we have come to an understanding that we will find ways and methods to make it easy for these people to be registered and given the citizenship that is long due to them. The third issue is on issue of education. We have 523 Tamil schools in Malaysia. More than 300 are termed government-aided schools. And these schools are in very bad, dilapidated conditions. And the government has agreed to uplift and to improve and rebuild these schools in par with any other national school in the country. And budgets would be allocated for those purposes. And it was agreed that these schools would be rebuilt over a period of 10 years from the time of our understanding. And also the intake to the local universities will be increased to match the percentage of the population, that is 7.5%. And finally, business opportunities as well as job opportunities will be opened up in both the public and private sector to the Indian community. And the government would ensure that it would change its policies to meet up these requirements. So these new policies that would be implemented would eventually bring about a sea change in the lives of the Indian community in Malaysia. And to show its commitment towards the memorandum of understanding that was signed with IDRA, the government has initially lifted the ban on IDRA and allowed us to be registered as an organization, it's a human rights organization. And 6 weeks ago, I was appointed a member of the upper house, which is called Dewan Negara, and also appointed as a deputy minister in the Prime Minister's Department to undertake the task of implementing the changes in agreements that was entered upon in the memorandum of understanding. And so now we enter into a new era in our struggle to bring about change. I think the understanding entered with the government brought about hope in the lives of many Malaysian Indians living in Malaysia, as well as those who are living overseas. And I hope I would personally be able to deliver the programs that was agreed upon. And what is obvious is the spotlight is on me. Every other day there's some issues in the media. Whenever there's a problem, all guns are trained at me. So, despite that, I'm committed to work with the government and to implement the changes that we all do. And with that, I also would like to thank the honor today to be invited here again to meet all of you. Thank you, Lord Rana. Thank you very much. And thank you, Dhirubhai, and many others. I think we can keep on going on with names. For all the support shown during my 5-year stay in the United Kingdom, for all the kind representations made to the Malaysian government. And I hope now that I'm with the government, I hope we will be able to forge a new relationship with the United Kingdom government. And I hope that there will be more visits from the House of Lords to the Malaysian Parliament. And I hope that we would be able to work closer to bring about democratic changes
title.
I hope I won't be the Iron Man.
Very exciting. Viruji, would you please say a few words?
It's very difficult to say, but I join you in expressing my same sentiments. I'm really extremely proud and a sense of feeling that we achieved something. My relations with